The Latest in the Gayest podcast is intended for listening by adult members of the LGBTQIA+ community and their allies. Discussions may contain material not suitable for folks under the age of 18. Listener discretion is advised. This week, we get serious about the not-so-Supreme Court.
And keep a spotlight on the folks of Not Cis Cinema.
All this and more on The Latest.
And the Gayest. And welcome back. We are here for another wonderful and riveting episode of The Latest and the Slayest. With me, one of your hosts, Josh, and the other host right here, who's across from me, who will introduce himself momentarily, in just a moment after I finish what I'm saying. And he will introduce himself in a way that is just... Sorry.
I'm just being very patient here. So, but please continue.
I was trying to think of more ways to like drone on, but I lost steam halfway through.
Well, anyway, my name's Alex. Thank you for joining us. It's a wow.
It's a day.
It's a day.
The sun has risen.
The sun has risen on another day here in this shithole of a country.
God, we'll talk about it more in the.
We'll get into that later. But
let's start with the positives.
Speaking of shitholes,
better be good.
This
better be good.
No, I don't know where I was going with that. What do you have to say? You say something. I'm say something. I'm done here. I've given up on myself.
You posted that TikTok of your transitions, and I was like, I felt seen. It's so true, so true, bestie.
Just at me next time, you fucking coward.
At me next time, you coward. What in the Jesus Christ was that? That is what I think when you say some of these things.
I know. I'm fully.
Here's the thing that bothers me about it. Because we'll be talking about...
Speaking of blue food coloring.
Exactly.
And
it'll be blue. Well, here's the thing. We'll be talking about, I don't know, people not getting enough sleep.
Yeah, and
instead of being like, speaking of being a little tired, let's take a quick break. But instead you'll go, speaking of memory foam mattresses, let's take a break. You take the path less traveled.
Well, I mean, it provides some enjoyable content for our listeners, and I do my job well, so I like to make sure, but he is correct. Yeah, I know, and that's my goal in life. I mean, I'm usually the one who has to stay on my own toes, being a 5'5" top, but that's the struggles.
Tell us about them. I'm so interested.
Nah, I'll stay out of that one for now.
Fair enough.
But all my tater tops out there, they'll know. They'll know.
Tater tops.
They'll know the struggle. They'll know the struggle.
Oh my god, that's adorable. I love that for y'all.
Tater tops.
Tater tops.
Yeah, we're out there. We're just as dominant, even though we may be like 5'2". Speaking of being 5'2".
No.
Oh,
exciting news, I suppose. I am officially dating someone now.
No,
I can't show you a picture of him because all of his pictures I have of him, it features booty hole as well.
Okay.
But you know that guy I was talking about like way back in the day.
You gotta give me way more than that. You gotta give me.
This past Valentine's Day, I was like,
I think so.
Yeah, we were hanging out one day and we were just kind of like chilling in bed, and he was like, I don't remember. We were just like kind of talking, and he was like, "I want you to be mine," and I was like, "Okay."
Fierce.
And he was like, "Wait, seriously?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?"
He was like,
very anticlimactic.
Yeah, I got some free time.
He was. I feel bad.
He's like, I want you to be my boyfriend, and then you're like, "Yeah, sure, I got some free time."
I was like,
"Why not?"
Tight dog. I'm free on Tuesday, I guess.
Yeah. No.
I felt kind of bad because he like was taken aback a little because he was like, "Really? It's never been that easy for me." I was like, "Yeah."
It's like that. I feel like that's the equivalent of "I love you," and then the other person's like,
"Oh,
right? I love me too." I know I'm just so fantastic.
Or like a hey, thanks.
That's awesome. I'm happy. I'm happy for
I'm
you.
actually not on the lover side. I'm on the other person's side because, like, I feel like when someone says "I love you,"
you're not the one who
puts you
reciprocates.
under so much pressure. I mean, here's a couple things.
Okay.
I say "I love you" to like everybody. I used to, at least. I stopped doing it recently because I ran into problems.
Okay.
And the problems were that I was saying "I love you" to people that I didn't mean to say "I love you" to.
And then it would like backfire on you.
And then like.
Ultimately or something.
This one guy I was dating, he had basically whiplash where like I was saying I love you like very flippantly and then broke up with him like a few weeks later. I was like, okay, this is probably like not a move.
Okay.
And I had to like say, hey, this is like kind of toxic. I need to.
Yeah. Just stop saying I love you.
Period. No one gets the love from me anymore.
Love is overrated.
It kind of is, low key. But so yeah, I don't
love is canceled.
Because also the thing too is if I say I love you and I don't feel the same way, you are now a bad person. You are now like introducing like an antagonistic force to your relationship because you cannot you of no fault of your own cannot reciprocate someone's feelings.
Yeah, I guess. It's just it's so difficult. When you've been burned like one too many times. Mm-hmm. So I can definitely understand, the apprehension of like
I've been the burner.
Or you've been the one who's burning people.
I'm the stove. Yeah, I'm the fire.
You're the person who's you're the one who's like, I love you, and then they're like, awesome.
No, I've been the one. I've been the one saying it's kind of.
You're the one saying.
I'm the
awesome?
one saying. I've been the one saying awesome and be like, I guess I love you too. Or I've been the one going, I love you. I think we should break up.
Or you just like felt like you felt forced to kind of say it back.
Yeah.
To like not ruin the moment.
Okay,
or something.
I guess I've been on both sides of the equation. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm like, I don't think I've ever truly been in love with it. I'm. Oh my god!
You haven't like.
I've never been truly in love with any of my boyfriends as of yet.
You haven't had like your quote unquote first love yet.
That's debatable, but he was straight, and it was. I call that more obsession than love.
That may be more of a.
So yeah, I haven't experienced my first love yet.
Straight boy crush.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
I mean, straight boy crushes are a whole thing in and of itself.
That would be a good brand name for like poppers or something.
Straight boy crush.
Honestly, how toxic the gays are, yeah.
Well, I mean, actually, you know what? That could be. I could see that. I could totally see like the twinks out there buying like straight boy crush poppers.
Honestly, I see that for them, and unfortunately, they're gonna eat that shit up.
They will devour that
fantasy.
You should whoever ends up doing it, you get like different. Do poppers come in different flavors? Is that like a thing?
It's a smell. You smell.
Okay, it's different scents, but maybe. Like so each scent is named after like a stereotypical douchey like straight
Chad,
boy name.
Michael,
Chad,
Michael's
Brad, Dylan. Everybody has known a Dylan.
Fuck Dylan's. I'm sorry.
Ryan.
I'm sorry. Ryan. No, I can see Ryan being a douchey.
I have only
Colton's
ever that Colton to me sounds like a rich white boy from like Greenwich, Connecticut, which is like the richest part of. So for those of you who are from the Northeast, Greenwich, Connecticut is like the richest part of Connecticut.
I'm going to go to Connecticut. I'm going to go to Greenwich and piss.
And I guarantee you there's probably like fucking 50 Coltons out there because those like white people be coming up with just like,
Well, they've departed from the classic names. Now it's
they're no longer doing like Bible verses.
They're doing like Antler.
Oh boy,
Antler
is God. I full ass naming your child after an animal part.
Animal part or just the animal? If I name my child like Parakeet, that'd be kind of funny.
Oh my God, this is.
Then my dog's name's Beth.
Oh God,
have a son named Spot and a dog named Timmy.
There you go. Have a daughter named Mrs. Whiskers, and then have a cat named Susan.
Actually, I stand Susan.
But speaking of Susan,
don't do this to me. We just talked about this.
Let's take a break. Let's take a break.
Are you bringing us in, Alex?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Bring us in.
All right, I'm ready.
If you'd be so kind, if you could bring us in, I'd really appreciate that.
I'll do.
If you could please, anytime now, actually, soon, preferably. But if you want to bring us in, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you.
I mean, I could do it next week if you want.
Can we keep that in, please?
I'm definitely keeping that in. But anyway,
okay, well, then perfect. Then I'll just bring us in. Then
anyway, welcome back to the show.
I'm sorry.
God,
listen, you get the transitions, I get this.
This is your claim to fame now.
Yes.
All right, I'll let you have it. I've put you through so much at this point. I feel like you deserve.
Definitely, and we could talk about it after you bring us in.
That's true. I will.
If you just would real quick bring us in, I think that would be a good time actually.
I think I will. Okay, eventually. At some point.
Okay. More. I'm done.
We're gonna have like no time to talk about shit.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, this is actually very important.
Okay, welcome back to the show. Hi, we're here. It's time for everyone's favorite gay news segment, Queer Quandaries. And let's talk about some shit.
We'll talk about one big shit today.
Because there's this week has been. I mean, it started off like mediocre, but now it's just
gone to shit.
Okay. So, anyway, obviously, as we know, this Friday, June 24th, the Supreme Court voted to overturn Roe v. Wade with a 6-3 decision made by Judges Samuel Alito, Amy Coney Barrett, Brett Kavanaugh, Clarence Thomas, John Roberts, and Neil Gorsuch. Is that, I don't know. Gorsuch, however you pronounce this. I don't give a shit. I'm mad at these people.
Bitch 1 through 5.
Honestly, according to them, this was their like whole reasoning for the thing. They said, quote, "The Constitution does not confer a right to abortion. Roe and Casey are overruled, and the authority to regulate abortion is returned to the people and their elected representatives." With the overturning now, this obviously now gives states the individual option to think like whether they want to
legalize or criminalize.
Yep. And there are already, like, actually, I posted this on my my Instagram stories. If you follow me on Instagram, but there are already, so currently 13 states are already set to put in abortion trigger laws that are going to be going into effect very soon, including Arkansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Missouri, Oklahoma, South Dakota, Utah, Idaho, Mississippi, North Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, and Wyoming. And that is just the tip of the iceberg. But anyway, so yeah, now there are some states that I've seen so far that are not, going with it. California, I know I've seen has spoken up against it. Made a statement. The California governor has spoken up against it, and Connecticut Governor Ned Lamont has spoken up against it. And now this. So here's the thing that we mentioned this before when the news first broke about when they were still just considering it. This decision doesn't just affect like cis heterosexual women.
Yes,
this affects a lot of people. Anybody who has the ability to get pregnant, this can. And this doesn't just affect people like that. It's trans men, non-binary individuals who were born female, bisexual women, anyone, like I said, anybody who has the ability to get pregnant.
Anyone with the uterus, yep.
And there was recently a press conference made by Sarah Kate Ellis, who is the president and the CEO of GLAAD. she issued a statement on Twitter saying, quote, "The anti-abortion playbook and the anti-LGBTQ playbook are one and the same. Both are about denying control over our bodies and making it more dangerous for us to live as we are. Both divide our country into free and less free, the opposite of what the United States should be. Our bodies, health care, and our future belong to us, not to a meddling politician or extremist Supreme Court justices, and we will fight back."
I think also, a thing too that is particularly heinous about this is during the confirmation hearings of, I think, Kavanaugh and Barrett, they explicitly said, like, hey, like, we're not, they said that Roe v. Wade was a precedent that they were not interested in revisiting. And
here we are.
The worst has come to pass.
Yep.
Not the worst, I suppose, but
it's definitely the start.
It's definitely the start of
the worst. And there's a lot more shit to come.
There's more shit to come.
Because
I'll talk about the things that Clarence Thompson also said he wanted to reconsider.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I think too that the Supreme Court. I think we talked about it much, but I want to bring it up now. I think if you are within like 50 or 100 miles of the border
of Mexico or Canada, or just in general.
In general,
okay.
If the outline of the U.S. If you're within, I think I don't know. Sorry, I don't know off the top of my head. I think it's like 50 or 100 miles. Border Control does not need a warrant to search your home.
Oh yes, I've heard about this.
Yeah,
I think we talk about something like that when we talked about the Ulvade shooting.
Well, you talked about how Border Control was sort of like showed up.
Yeah.
But that they basically they kind of have more. There's also, I think, the Miranda rights. If you're not read your Miranda rights, you can take no legal action anymore. Is another thing that's happened.
Yeah, and this is like like
some fascist shit.
And it's honestly the thing that I genuinely am like. Just this is. Like I said, this is just the start of like a whole wave of shit that's coming. Because if y'all think that there's so many people out there who, and again, we talked about this when the news first broke about them just considering it. We talked about how there are a lot of gays out there who aren't as furious about this as they should be, because like we said, this doesn't just affect cisgendered heterosexual women. This affects literally anyone with a uterus and literally anyone that has the ability to get pregnant. And there are, just because you are like a gay man, just because you can't get pregnant does not mean there are people in your life that this affects. There are a lot of, I bet you there are all your girlies who you love to go to brunch with. This affects them. This affects a lot of people. And like when I was saying with the GLAAD statement the person made over Twitter, Clarence Thomas, he wants to fucking overturn Obergefell. And
well, there's 3 hearings he wants to look at specifically. It's Lawrence versus Texas, Obergefell, and Griswold.
Right.
So I'll go through them real quick.
Yeah.
Griswold versus Connecticut.
Oh.
Was basically, it set the precedent that the states or the government in general could not restrict and criminalize contraceptives. So basically, like Plan B, or I don't know the names of them. I'm very sorry. I should know more. But also
Plan B, or like the morning after pill,
the morning after pills, IUDs, and that kind of stuff.
Yep.
They were once. It's like you couldn't just get them. You couldn't go to the store and get them. It had to be
especially like through your doctor or something.
Yeah, pretty much. And then I think at least I don't know totally off the top of my head. So Clarence Thompson wants to get rid of that.
Yep.
And of course Obergefell, the one about same-sex marriage, and about how states don't have the right to withhold marriage licenses from same-sex couples.
Yep.
And then the last one, it was, I say Griswold? No, Lawrence. Just talked about Griswold. Lawrence was the one that said that states and the government cannot punish same-sex relations. So basically, gay sex, in the most...
It can't be criminalized.
It can't be criminalized.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, all three of these have... and in Roe v. Wade more, it was more than just about abortion. The more you look into them, the more... complex and nuanced. What they offer is more than kind of what we just say.
Well, and so that's the thing that actually I wanted to bring this up, because when I was reading about it, it reminded me of the fact of, I feel like when people think of abortion clinics and places like that, what's the first thing that comes to their mind? Planned Parenthood.
Oh yeah.
Planned Parenthood is, and they've been under attack for a long time. People, the conservatives have been, it's pretty much like a thing at this point. You can fully get like a job now, like a full paying job as like a Planned Parenthood person who like tries to scare away like the protesters who like to stand outside Planned Parenthood clinics and like protest abortion. But I, like I said, when people think of abortion, they think of Planned Parenthood, and Planned Parenthood clinics are known. They have so many more services than just access to safe abortions. And I would like to read some of them off to you right now. And with this decision, everything that I'm listing off right here is probably in danger of getting like taken down, and people will no longer...
Certain aspects of it, I suppose, yeah.
Because, anyway. So, pap smears, pregnancy tests and services, diabetes screenings, breast cancer screenings, STI testing and treatment and prevention, male infertility screening and referral, menopausal help, birth control, emergency contraception, and transgender hormone therapy. And those are just some of the things that Planned Parenthood offers besides abortion.
And a lot of these places that they're, the states that they are looking to criminalize abortion, they're probably going to go after these places pretty hard. And if these places...
Because I know there's like some states where they've fully like worked to shut down all Planned Parenthood clinics, and I think like Arkansas and like a lot of southern states are working very hard to try and shut down and criminalize like Planned Parenthood clinics so that people don't have access to all the shit that I just listed off, and abortion, access to a safe abortion.
I think that's what people keep echoing too, is that it's kind of like underage drinking, in that criminalizing it does not make it less likely.
No.
It's gonna happen.
In fact, and that's the thing. When you remember when a lot of schools were convinced that God, what's the word I'm thinking of? Abstinence. When schools thought teaching abstinence was the only way was
to prevent
kids from having sex and getting pregnant and spreading STIs and stuff like that. They didn't want to teach about safe sex. They didn't want to teach about condoms. They didn't want to teach about, birth control and contraceptives and stuff like that. They were just like, just don't do it. Just no sex. None.
Do it.
Literally. Don't even think about it. And
again, it's criminalizing, making it look scary. It's not.
And it's just
not do it.
If you looked at a lot of the states who tried to make abstinence like a thing, and that was like the only thing that the kids were learning at school, a lot of those states had much higher rates for like teen pregnancies and much higher STI rates and much higher rates for unsafe sex. And states that are teaching about condoms and contraception and things like that, people are being a lot smarter and a lot safer about how they choose to have sex.
Exactly. I want to point out that like parents are not like this unknowing and totally helpless bystanders in this. I think parents talking to their children about safe sex is also another very important part of it.
Oh, absolutely.
I think it just doesn't happen anymore.
No.
I certainly didn't get sex talk. I learned about sex from Family Guy watching South Park and Robot Chicken and an Adult Swim after Cartoon Network ended.
I was just about to say, I'm sure you have, but have you seen the South Park episode when the boys discover, like, they start beating off like Stan's dog, and so they like start, this is so gross. They start, like, the boys are like like beating off the dog, and then Stan does it in front of like the parents, and the parents are like, this is insane, the schools need to be doing something about this, they need to start teaching kids about sex at younger and younger ages. And it was like a whole episode about like the schools were teaching, like, and they had full on, like, Mr. Garrison was teaching the kindergartners about like different, like, how to put on a condom, and like this whole, and it was a whole episode about kids learning about sex and stuff in, and how the schools and parents weren't doing a good job of it.
That sounds about right.
And I think I got like a pretty basic sex talk, but to like what you said, you are correct. I learned a lot more about like gay sex, especially from different material.
And that's the thing too. I eventually figured out like what's good and what's wrong, what's great. But like, it's not the responsibility of like media to like show responsible sex, and showcase things responsibly, because a lot of that stuff's about being funny and entertaining. So it's really like, if I if I don't understand at a young age enough about sex, it's not the fault of the media.
Yeah, it's not Cartoon Network's fault.
Well, Adult Swim, but it's not their fault. They're not at fault, and they're not responsible.
Yeah,
I'll put it like that. They're not responsible for kind of any of it. So I just wanted to kind of
well, because people like to criminalize shows for teaching certain for kids, finding out about certain things through the media, because it's like a whole thing of, I remember way back when or even they still kind of talk about this to this day, but how people love to think that like kids are learning all this violence, and like there's all this violence in the world
because the video games, and kids are learning about it. Like I had a talk with my mom a little while back, and she was saying how when I was younger, I used to, and I still do, I watched like Batman the animated series and cartoons like that. They had guns in them. And, there was all this like shoot 'em up, like bang bang stuff. And my mom was like, to be honest, I was a little bit more concerned with a couple of times with you when you were younger, with you like watching, cartoons with all those guns in them. But it's not, you can't like, this isn't me trying to like shade my mom, but, you can't, you can't like just assume that kids are just going to take their lessons from TV. It's about what the parents are, how you responsibly contextualize it for the children.
Yeah, exactly.
And sorry, I just like, because is it like the conservatives that are saying there's too much violence in video games?
A lot of people. I mean, conservatives definitely, but a lot of people.
Because I don't understand how there could be too much violence in the video game because there's guns and they're shooting each other, but there needs to be more guns in the schools to protect from shooters. I don't understand. It fries my brain. These people, my brain is like an egg, a sunny side up.
There was currently at this very moment in time, a woman's body and her right to choose what to do with it
is more regulated than a gun.
Yep. And there have been over 250 mass shootings in the United States alone just in 2022.
Yeah.
Just in this year. So while we go take a break, let that sink in.
You'll digest that.
Yeah.
And we're back with another segment that is starting right now of the Latest of the Gayest podcast with me, your host Josh, and my other host Alex. And we are going to talk about rainbow washing today. Rainbow washing, which is basically like the corporatization of pride. And,
Gay.
Hi, gay.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride Month.
Here at the Butter Shop.
That is such... can we talk a little bit about how like that is like...
I mean, whenever people think of rainbow washing nowadays, that's pretty much immediately what comes to mind. I feel like for most people like our age who know what that meme is.
I love showing it to older people because it's so
funny.
Hi,
gay. Happy Pride Month.
Here at the Butter Barn,
we are sashaying away with deals. Okay, so real quick.
Yes.
The newest, the show Love, Victor? Which is like the continuation of Love, Simon.
Did not watch it.
Okay, well, I have. And in the third season, which just came out recently, there's an episode where Victor gets an...
Who the fuck is Victor?
The main character.
I thought his name was Simon.
No, that was the movie. This is Love, Victor.
So it's two different people?
Well, Love, Victor is the TV show that's like based in the same universe as Love, Simon.
So Victor and Simon are two different people?
Yes.
Why didn't they just continue with Simon's story? Who the fuck's Victor? Why do I give a fuck about Victor?
Because people were pissed off at Nick Robinson.
I don't care about Simon
for portraying a gay person, because his portrayal of a gay person was like not even accurate in the slightest.
But what does that even mean, though? I mean, okay, whatever. But
anyway, so in an episode in the third season that just came out, Victor gets an award. He's on the basketball team at school. And his coach one day tells him, he's like, hey, you're going to be getting an award at the upcoming like award ceremony for the school. And he's like, oh my God, am I getting MVP? And he's like, no, you're getting the bravery award for being so
gay,
brave, and being you. And then Victor's like, so basically I'm getting an award for being gay. And then the coach, I can't remember how he segues into it, but he eventually is like, because, we just want to make sure that that we're okay with gay. And then this fucking like overweight straight man basketball coach, it just starts going like, Yas, queen, skinny legend, boots the house down, mama, yes, God.
So the hilarious Ross Matthews. Anyways. Actually,
the hilarious Ross Matthews.
I love, we stand Ross.
Anyways. Speaking of Ross Matthews.
Stuff. Anyway, rainbow washing. We're so off track. I don't know how to tether it back in, so I'm just gonna totally
just dive into
switch gears. Yeah.
So,
kind of began this conversation because we talk about what we're oh my God, we talk about what we're going to talk about on the show before the show happens. Believe it or not, there's some amount of planning that goes into this.
We do,
and what inspired the topic of rainbow washing about how
you'd never know
pride has become corporatized.
We don't just fly by the seat of our pants.
I mean, we kind of always do, but like it's fine. Is that Boston Pride? I think in 2020, I believe, was dissolved. The group, the people, because it was mostly a bunch of wealthier white people throwing these almost like self-congratulatory like parades that were like really expensive and were like, you know, brimming with like corporate sponsorship, and really just felt so out of touch, and it was very jarring to a lot of the you know, trans people of color within the community, people of color and trans people, like the non-cis gay people, and even like the other members of our community that, you know, kind of go unnoticed. And so instead of taking accountability, they just kind of said, okay, we're just gonna disappear, no more.
Because
and their decision to like dissolve instead of restructure is problematic in and of itself, but like we're talking more about how we got there, I think.
Yes.
And how Pride, which like the kind of like a end of that story. Now there's a new Boston Pride network, and there's also the Serve network, I think, run by Violencia, and I think some other trans queens, but it's mostly it's a trans. There's a lot of trans people running the show in Boston now, which is wonderful.
Fierce.
Love Violencia exclamation point. Also,
yes.
They are engaged. Congratulations.
Oh, yay. Love that.
Yes. But so how do we get here? I think
it all started a long
time ago.
In a faraway land called Boston.
I think this I'm kind of engaging in a little bit of conjecture here. But I think after Obergefell, tying it all back in, people kind of saw the fight for gay rights to be done.
We're
done. Like, we got what we wanted.
We won.
We won. Yeah, we win,
it.
basically.
Yeah.
Which is for our trans and non-binary and the POCs in our community, that was definitely not the case.
No, it was the case for white people.
White gay men, and white. That's it. Pretty much it.
For the white gays.
The white gays, they had basically all their problems were solved.
Yep.
And they also held a lot of power within the community. So I think Pride even then Pride was still going towards this paradey kind of self-congratulatory thing.
Yeah.
So I was trying to say, it became like, since we kind of like, okay, we were done fighting for our rights, Pride turned into just this like, it lost some of its, I don't want to say meaning, because people definitely held the meaning.
Yeah.
But the parades and the shows themselves turned more into like shows. They were
it became just like a huge thing for corporations.
It became more about the spectacle than the purpose.
Than actually like celebrating
fighting for rights.
Yeah.
And then I think a lot of corporations saw that and they're like, oh, this is just like a big money making opportunity.
Yeah, we can put a float for TD Ameritrade in the Pride Parade, and just say how much we love the gays when good 90% of the year we're donating to anti-gay politicians.
Like, we're looking at you, Disney.
Hey.
And I think, which I mean, we saw the summer. I think it was 2020 or 2021. Those 2 years just blend together for me. And this really saw this even, I think, within Chicago too, with the Chicago Black Drag Council. And there's the Chicago Drag Town Hall, which was, I don't know if you ever saw that, but that was kind of insane.
No.
Basically, a lot of black queer artists within Chicago kind of took a stand saying, hey, we're not being treated fairly, we're not being paid fairly, and things need to change, or we will not be working at XYZ bars and XYZ events and XYZ venues until we get the representation and the say and the pay we deserve.
Yeah.
And it happened all over the country, honestly. And there were some places in Chicago, things did get better, and in some places, some of the bars would rather have died and gone out of business than hire like a few black people. Yeah, they'd
rather just hire like the white.
It was only the shows are being, and again, you'd have to really this kind of only tangentially, but like also not tangentially is related. But T-Rex from Chicago,
yep,
and how they got kind of canceled.
Yeah.
But like.
Because they used to be like the go-to gal for hosting literally anything
every show, and
they
the hosting, but also casting.
Mm-hmm.
And they would
because they had like a competition show, I believe, that they'd hold.
And they did the Roscoe's events too.
Yeah, the Roscoe's viewing parties for Drag Race. Mm-hmm. She was always there.
T-Rex held a lot of power over, other queer artists. And the thing too about the black drag, the Chicago drag scene is it's a lot more diverse than I think anywhere else.
Yeah,
besides maybe like New York City.
Oh yeah.
So there's also like it wasn't just black drag queens. It was a very wide range.
Oh yeah. Because Chicago has given birth to some, pretty
icons. Icons.
Shay, Vixen,
Tenderoni, Lucy Stool, Miss Toto, Bambi Banks, Kenzie Coulee, Abjit the Doll,
Auntie Chan, Darby Lynn.
Oh, Darby, yeah,
the whole IMHO crew.
Well, I'm pretty sure Darby
originally
didn't Darby change her name.
Yeah,
because it used to be Dixie something.
Used to be Dixie, but then they changed it to Darby. And then Alexis P. Bevels, who was season 1 winner of Camp Wanakiki.
I've never seen it. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Neither have I. But I just know that Alexis.
I know it's a great show, and I know Coleslaw's on it. Coleslaw, Boston Queen.
Oh hey,
good luck, Coleslaw. But how long is this segment supposed to be?
I think we said 15 minutes.
Where are we at? Sorry.
We're at 10 minutes.
Okay, 5 minutes.
Okay, we got 5 minutes.
Good luck, Coleslaw, and Camp Wanakiki. But also at the same time, I think where's it going? Kind of where we're at in the story of the corporatization of Pride, and also didn't Seattle? We talked about it before, but Seattle was going to have Amazon sponsor their
Yes,
Pride.
I mentioned that on.
And they said,
Queer
no, we're not going to do that. No more love.
Because Amazon was going to sponsor their Pride event, but then when it came out that Amazon was like funding the politicians who are backing the Don't Say Gay bill, the Seattle Pride was like, it's a no. It's a no for me, dog.
I think also, was Providence Pride or Rhode Island Pride sponsored by Amazon?
I mean,
I think Amazon definitely was.
At least in the years that I've been going to it, I have never seen a sponsored version of Rhode Island Pride, but I could be wrong, and it could fully well have just been that I wasn't paying enough attention. And I was kind of just caught up in the spectacle of it.
That's fair. We kind of all were.
Yeah.
I think...
I don't... Not that I know.
I think I saw like an Amazon float, which was kind of like suspicious to me. But maybe I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
And I think something too that I would like... I think as steps you can take to like amend this, because I think, a complaint without, a suggestion is just a complaint. Like, I think it's just as important to like, what's the word I'm looking for? Basically, so what?
You have to take action yourself.
Take action yourself, or what action you have to vocalize the actions you want to see taken. And I think
be the change you want to see in the world.
Yes, I think these pride organizations having to like be totally transparent about where they're getting their money from is a step in the right direction. Yeah,
and they've been accepting the money from all the corporations and stuff like that.
It's easy to say the corporations, but I think part of it too is we need to see our part in it. These people of our community, people who we kind of give power to in our community, accept the donations and they accept these things.
That's
so we need to, again, us in ourselves we need to demand more of either these corporations, if you're going to donate to us, if you're going to say, hey,
if you're gonna sponsor a whole Pride event, then you can't just do it. You can't just like be a fan of the gays 1 month out of the year.
Yeah, you gotta
either be with us or you're against us.
I think again, this is again like kind of it all ties in together. Lizzo recently said that she was. Let me look for the actual tweet itself.
Oh, well, I mean, and I know, kind of tying back to the Roe v. Wade, Lizzo is taking about $500,000 from her tour that she has made, and she's going to be donating that to Planned Parenthood and abortion funds, and she's also gotten Live Nation to match that donation.
Yes.
So they are now both like donating collectively $1 million to Planned Parenthood and abortion funds.
I think that's the subcross what people are wanting, is that they want, like, yes, Planned Parenthood is nice and they do a lot of things, but they have a lot of donations, they have a lot of money. Mm-hmm. It's kind of the same thing with the Trevor Project. Mm-hmm. People like to throw money at the Trevor Project, like, okay, we're done, we did the gay thing, because it's convenient. It's like the go-to. It's the go-to.
It's the go-to gay charity,
and I think that is another thing that, like, there are other charities. I can't think of a lot of, like the Okra Project. They help house and feed Black trans folks. So there are other organizations that need the money just as much, if not more.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I think,
and it's not, as much as the Trevor Project does,
it's wonderful.
They do great work and they do fantastic stuff. It's not. They are not the only organization out there working to help queer people.
Yes, and I think wanting more nuanced and intentional donations and nuanced and intentional actions is part of the steps to get to where we need to be.
Mm-hmm. Like I saw like a thing, YouTube is doing a thing where they're like, make a YouTube short of how you show your pride and we'll donate to the Trevor Project. And I'm like, okay, I don't,
whatever.
But anyway, rainbow washing. Hi, gay.
It'll get you.
And speaking of hi, gay.
Bye, gay. We're taking a break.
Bye, gay. Hey, there you go. And we're back.
Woohoo!
And now, people. I was trying to do like I was about to say like ladies and gentlemen, but then I'm like, no, I don't want to.
You know what I hate?
What?
Ladies and gentle thems.
That's a thing.
People say, "Oh, ladies and gentle thems." I'm like, you just gendered the non-gendered stuff, like that. You just it's a double negative, dude.
You're okay. Stop trying to make gender specific like they them terms.
It's so strange.
People who use they them pronouns ain't looking to be re-gendered.
Yeah, You went out of your ways. You went out of your way to re-gender them. Just say, I said, hey, sup? I don't know.
Hello,
folks. Hello, friends.
What's up, y'all?
Friends, folks.
Hey, y'all.
Flops.
What's going? Hey, flops. No.
Gender neutral.
Flops technically is a gender neutral term, but non-binary folks are not flops.
Listen, no. Well, non-binary people and trans people, everyone is capable of flopping.
You have it in you
to flop.
Sometimes
it's not about how you flop; it's how you get back up.
And sometimes the biggest slay comes after our hardest flops. But anyway,
get back.
Speaking of slaying. Welcome back. We are gonna do
We're gonna talk about something.
So
topic.
Welcome back to Rainbow Rangers.
Is this Rainbow Rangers?
I'm classifying it as Rainbow Rangers. But anyway, so as y'all know, recently, so for those of you out there who watch the Netflix series The Umbrella Academy,
I don't. I'm sorry.
So they just recently released the third season on Netflix, and actors and Elliot Page, who came out last year as trans, is a part of that show. Now, when we left the second season, at the end, Elliot had not yet come out, and Elliot's character was still female. And one of the things that people were really interested in seeing was how the writers of the Umbrella Academy were going to work Elliot's transition into the storyline, because it was revealed that they had like a full plan to like work in Elliot's character would transition also. So
that's cool.
And lo and behold, they did it.
Was it good?
Did
you watch it?
I have. Yeah, I'm currently.
Did it work?
I think so. They didn't. I think they still wanted to focus on the plot of the season, so they didn't make.
It didn't take center stage.
They didn't. Yeah, they didn't make the transition like the focal point of the whole season. However, I think they did a good job at how they made Elliot's character transition.
Are you going to tell us, or are you going to keep it spoiler-free?
I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm going to let y'all go watch and figure that out for yourself. But because...
So what are we going to talk about? Tell me.
So today we're going to talk about some really, really just fierce trans actors and actresses who are making an impact on the big and small screens. Because...
What's the difference between the big and small screen?
Well, the big screen...
Besides with the big screen being big and the small screen being small, is that it?
The big screen typically refers to movies, and the small screen typically refers to television shows. So, like...
But I can watch a TV show on a big screen.
That is true.
Are you seeing my screen small? Are you calling me poor?
I am.
Okay.
Go.
Okay, but your TV's tiny.
Go drink your fucking...
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm done derailing the show. We're gonna talk about our trans actors and actresses. Or in
celebration.
Okay. Anyways, yeah. Sorry.
In celebration of Elliot's transition, or I guess not in celebration of their You know what?
Inspired by.
In celebration of this, we are going to count down some of our favorite trans actors and actresses.
Count down to what?
Just counting down.
But what are we counting down to?
We're just making a list. This is our list.
But you count. It's like a countdown's like New Year's. We're counting down to something.
We are counting down our list.
Okay, so
of
we have
our
list. It's
favorite trans actors and actresses. You are really just trying to poke so many holes in my story here.
I can't help it. I'm sorry.
This is what happens when we give him power in the show. This is what happens when we give Josh power.
When I have any sort of...
No. Anyway.
I just want to say we're not counting down to anything, and we're not ranking them. We're just celebrating them in their entirety.
Yes. So, first up, one that the kids recently will know, all the gays out there, all the kiddos. Yasmine Finney, who plays Miss L on Heartstopper.
Oh, I didn't know that actor.
Yeah, the actress who plays L on Heartstopper. She herself is a trans woman.
Love.
And Elle is a trans character.
She was the best part of the show.
You said it. You said she was one of your favorite characters from the show.
Absolutely.
And one thing I appreciated a lot when they were doing it was how they did not choose to make Elle's character just like a cisgendered woman.
Yes,
and actually have Elle's character played by an actual trans woman of color, which I really, because Hollywood loves to whitewash.
They do.
Hollywood really loves to whitewash. Mm-hmm. They be doing it. They be doing it like all the damn time, like they did with the fucking Scarlett Johansson. There was some movie that Scarlett Johansson was in, and a lot of people were pissed off at her because the part in like the book that it was based off of or something was the main character was originally Asian, and they just cast like Scarlett Johansson.
Why not?
Because she's hot. Because it's Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, that's stupid, but that's okay.
But
anyways, we love to hear that.
We love that. Another one. So some of you may know. Remember the TV show Jessie?
Jessie
on Disney Channel.
That's
Hey,
Sky
Jessie.
Jackson, right?
Yeah, with Sky Jackson, Debbie Ryan.
I'll never forget when Sky Jackson and Azalea Banks were beefing on Twitter.
Sky Jackson is just an icon. But
world do we live
anyway,
in?
we're not here to talk about Sky Jackson. We are here to talk about Josie Tota, who got her start on Jessie, but has recently been known for her work in the reboot of Saved by the Bell, the iconic TV series. They got a reboot on Peacock, and I think it's in like its second or third season currently.
Okay.
So it's still going pretty well. But I think part of the reason why that is because Josie's character on the show people have just been living. So she's like, imagine like Sharpay Evans, but like a trans icon.
Okay.
So, and does she look, you know her?
I don't know her, but I love her.
She's fierce. But anyway, Josie, we stand. We stand very much so. Alexandra Billings, who was on the show The Conners, which is kind of a continuation of the TV show Roseanne. Who you remember Roseanne Barr, who got kind of like canceled because she was either being like homophobic or racist, or she was a comedian, and shocker of the century, a lot of comedians end up being canceled for like some kind of racist or homophobic or sexist joke or something. And they were going to do a reboot because Roseanne was originally an 80s or 90s TV show. I can't 100% remember which. But they are doing like kind of a modern day reboot with some of the cast members from the original. And then there's also, I know this girl who was on the show Shameless is also in The Conners. But anyway, so Alexandra Billings returned to television to play Darlene and Becky's boss on The Conners. Billings has a pretty lengthy resume, including her most notable role on the TV show Transparent as Davina. And she's also had roles in ER, Eli Stone, How to Get Away with Murder, and Grey's Anatomy. And which is very fierce. And we love it. We love it very much indeed. And next up is this TV show, I think, kind of, if chances are, if you're like gay, you probably know this TV show and you probably know these actresses. But Dominique Jackson, the icon from the hit FX TV series Pose. This TV show, for those of you who for some reason may not be aware of this TV show, if you're not, please go watch it.
It's so good.
It's so good. And I remember I've seen all the seasons, and my aunt on my dad's side of the family, she watched the show itself, and I remember she called me one time and she was like, "Oh my God, this is so sad." Like these moments when they're just getting treated so horribly. That's so sad.
That's the point. That's how it was.
And that's the thing. There's some really depressing moments, but that's the point of the show was to reflect the real nasty sides of the AIDS crisis back in the 80s and 90s. And as depressing as it was, it can just all be warm fuzzies.
Yeah, it'd be jarring for it to be like, and everything was fine and happy at the end.
And I feel like they did a pretty decent job of wrapping up the show at the end. But Dominique Jackson,
also, did you see her walk through Mugler?
No, I didn't. But I did. But oh my God, I just dropped my phone.
Look it up right now.
During the break.
What
you know what I did see though? Did you see her when she guest judged on Legendary?
I think I did. Didn't she like eat up LaRoche?
Oh, she read the girls like beneath the grave and like down to hell.
Of course.
Like just as far as you could possibly go and then some. She took them there. She will read you the house down. And just we stand. And also another special shout out to India Moore, who was also on Pose. She played Angel on Pose. Sorry, but she did such a fantastic job. She was a fun fact. She went through kind of a similar upbringing with her parents, who did not understand their transition identity, and more went into the foster care system.
Oh.
So that
Awful.
I think was something that she was able to bring into her character on the show, which I thought was which was really great.
Very impressive.
Yes. And Hunter Schafer.
Hunter Schafer.
On Euphoria, who plays Miss Jules. God. I call myself a fan of the show and I fucking forget her character's name. Hunter Schafer from Euphoria. She is a model. She is an icon. And she also has recently been announced that she will be coming in the... did you hear they're going to be doing kind of like a prequel to the Hunger Games? They're going to make like a movie prequel that takes place like before the events of the Hunger Games.
Yeah, they made a book
that we've
about it.
seen.
I don't remember what it's called. But
yeah,
yes.
but but either way, it was announced recently that Hunter Schafer is going to be in the movie, which I am very much looking forward to, because even though I'm not a huge fan of Jules in the second season of Euphoria, I'm going to be perfectly honest. I do still stand Hunter Schafer with my entire being. And anyway, speaking...
I think... Oh, sorry. I just wanted to kind of put a bow on that.
I was going to do a nonsense transition, but...
But I think the purpose of this exercise, because I was thinking about it while we were going through it, we've come a long way with trans folks in media.
Yes.
Because way back in the day, not back in the day, but like pretty recent memory, honestly, trans people were only invited to act and to engage in this, just to have like violence perpetrated against them.
Yeah.
To be, the stereotypical dead sex worker.
Man in a wig.
Or the man in the wig.
Yeah.
Just so now that I was really happy to see that our trans actors and actresses have come to a point where they can
really showcase their talents,
a more genuine side of trans identities, and also some of them they're not even they just happen to be trans.
Yeah,
like with I can't remember her name, but with Elle and Heartstopper, it's not like a trauma porn.
Yeah,
for trans folks, it's just a trans person coming of age.
Yes,
and it's nice to see, and we've come a long way from.
And it's a good representation of that.
Good representation, yes.
Yes,
and I just wanted to put a little bow on this is why this is important, because
this is why we're talking about
diverse,
this today.
Well-rounded thing. It's come such a long way.
Mm-hmm. Because Pride is about all of the LGBTQ plus community, not just us two little gay boys here in the studio. But speaking of gay boys, let's do it.
And we're here wrapping up the show. The show's over. We're done with it. Alex, do your little thing.
Okay, all right, I'm here. If you can subscribe to, rate, and review The Latest and the Gayest on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, and Radio Public. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel, where you can find all past, present, and future episodes of The Latest and the Gayest,
but not the
available
ones yet,
for free.
Them yet.
Nope, that's true. But they will be available in the future, and this episode will be available on the YouTube channel next week, following the brand new episode. And please follow us on social media on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at TLATG Pod to stay up to date on all things The Latest and the Gayest. And also, please check out our link tree, which can be found in the bio of all of our social medias, to not only find resources for Ukraine, Olve, Texas, but we will be adding some resources and links on how you can, where you can donate to abortion funds and clinics,
funds, yes.
And what you can do right now to help with this bullshit.
Yes.
But anyway, thank you so much for joining us on yet another episode of The Latest and the Slayest. Thanks so much. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.